So I'm sure that you know this, but Netflix just discontinued their DVD delivery service. Were you a patron of this?
Not recently, but I did used to. I leaned on that service a lot because it was the only way to get a lot of really niche movies.
I started probably like 2002, 2003. I got a gift card for it from my brother for Christmas. So I did it for 3 months and then I quit. But then in 2009, I did it again, and I was a patron all the way until earlier this month. You can download a PDF of all of your Netflix activity from the entire history of you being there.
That kind of makes me wish I was still doing the service.
Would you like to know the first 5 DVDs I checked out of Netflix in 2009?
Hit me with it.
Number 1, A Colbert Christmas. Burn After Reading.
Nice.
Tropic Thunder.
Nice.
Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. And Spaced Season 1, Disc 2.
That's a healthy gamut of entertainment.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't shut it down 5 years ago. I'm surprised that I have done it all this time. I actually used it as a tool for this show, because often I need a physical DVD to edit with. So Netflix was a valuable service for that when I couldn't get the DVD anywhere else.
Now we've just got to rely on our library system.
Yes. As long as that holds out. Welcome back to the Basement, Tony Mayer, and welcome to all of you to the scary month of Halloween. It's October, we're watching horror movies all month.
Horror is my delightful, trashy wheelhouse. I'm so happy to be back for this.
Thief, Manhunter, Heat, Collateral. What, or should I say who, do these 4 titles have in common?
It couldn't possibly be director Michael Mann, could it?
That is correct. Michael Mann has made his name with stylized crime dramas, but once upon a time, he did make a horror film.
Yes, he did.
And it's in this envelope right now. Do you dare to venture inside the Keep?
I dare! Yes!
Released in 1983, The Keep stars Scott Glenn, Gabriel Byrne, Jürgen Prochnow, and Ian McKellen. Mann's original cut of the film was 210 minutes long. Paramount Studios forced him to recut it to 120 minutes, and poor test screenings forced a further edit to 96 minutes.
The swine.
As a result of all of this cutting, many critics found the plot to be somewhat incomprehensible. It was based on the novel of the same name by F. Paul Wilson, who was so unimpressed with the adaptation of his work that he wrote a short story entitled Cuts, in which a writer puts a voodoo curse on a director who has mangled his work.
Gee, tell us how you really feel, Wilson.
Yeah. Michael Mann was so disappointed with the experience of making this film that he retreated to television, making the hugely successful and iconic cop show Miami Vice. There was a board game created based on this movie. I wish to God that it was in this box that I was giving you today, but you'll have to settle for a different game.
That's fair. Oh, the classic Mille Bon.
I've been playing this game since I was a kid. It's one of my favorites, and so I'm glad to give it to you.
Thank you so kindly.
Well, roll down that drawbridge and raise that portcullis, and come join us on the old leather couch as we keep up with the Keep.
Mystery. This mountain has 3 faces. The north face, the south face, and the Stallone face. That was just for me. Our story starts in a village up in the Carpathian Mountains.
1940 something or other.
A Nazi regiment led by Captain Voorman has come to the town.
Now we are the masters of the world.
Jürgen Prochnow is like 2.5 Dolph Lundgrens.
They'll be staying in the Keep.
They're going to use this as some sort of strategic stronghold on this leg of the campaign. That may be what they're doing. They might be doing something else. I don't know. With this movie, you got to fill in a lot of blanks yourself.
Hello.
They meet the caretaker. I take care of this place.
My sons will continue after me.
That's why I don't let my sons get involved with theater, because then they'll run off and become actors and artists, and they won't take care of the Keep. You guys shouldn't stay here. It's a bad idea.
No one's ever died here.
Yet? What are all these crosses in the wall? Those crosses are made out of solid nickel, and they're nice to look at. There's a rumor going around the soldiers that these crosses are actually made out of silver, and they start prying one out of the wall.
Never touch the crosses.
Good day, Alexandra.
I hope the tour has been appropriately ominous. Now, if you look to the right, you'll see the Keep gift shop.
Night falls.
One especially awful Nazi named Horst is on guard duty.
One of those crosses starts glowing. Hello, Cleveland! Are you ready to rock? I know silver when I see it. Let's pry it out of the wall so we can get rich. They pull the stone out of the wall. There's a tunnel.
Horst climbs in.
He crawls and crawls and crawls, and he finds this massive expanse under the keep.
Oh, we're still pulling back. But he's not alone.
And that soldier is, as they say in Germany, kaputt. Top half of his body, gone. They got horsed, not horsed. They've let something loose.
As the evil wakes up, so does a mysterious man. His eyes glowing with a powerful energy.
It's as if he's received a signal that something is wrong, that he must put right. He has a mysterious case. I wonder what's in that case. He hires a boat to take him to Romania.
Too dangerous. Very expensive.
$17. Oh, the accommodations on this boat are horrendous, and I only got 2 glasses of champagne.
Just sit right back in your ear, a tale of a dreadful keep. Nazis keep on dying.
5 have died so far.
It's not a tragedy.
Then these other Nazis show up. They're meaner Nazis because their uniforms are darker. They line up some villagers by the wall and gun them down. Kempfer, the leader of these Nazis, says obviously these deaths are due to partisan attacks. These villagers are socialists or communists or something, and they're sneaking in the keep and they're killing people. They find some writing on the wall. This isn't Romanian. This isn't any language that we know. If you bring this guy who's going off to the concentration camps, he's a professor of ancient languages, Dr. Kuza, he could probably read it. The strange traveler gets closer to the keep.
Get down.
Get down, meet your bad self. Something about him is from other worlds. Kuza can read it. This is an ancient language.
The message, by the way, is an ominous one.
I will be free.
Dr. Kuza is a very sick man. He is dying soon. With him is his daughter, Ava.
Find out what is killing us, and I may be able to get you to Bucharest.
You know, a fun fact about Bucharest is that it has the most Airbnbs of all of Europe. Because that's where people go to book a rest.
Goodbye.
Whenever Tangerine Dream is in the studio, it's always the same thing. God damn it, we need more keyboards! Can't we get more? Eva goes to the mess to get him some food. She is attacked by 2 soldiers. Yeah, get him, Keep! And those soldiers are killed.
Oh, suck out your soul through your eyeball. Cronenberg.
Oh, a double Cronenberg. Nice.
Whatever it is, it carries Ava back to Dr. Kuza. Who are you? Every 80s metal album combined.
This is some sort of demon who has been set free, but it wants to be set free even more. It wants to get out of the keep and go into the world. The demon hates these Nazis. He sees Kuza as a kindred spirit and gives him the old devil hand. Kuza is killed by this? No, he is not. He is cured.
Decades younger, his illness has cleared up.
Peekaboo! I can finally play peekaboo again. The demon needs him for some purposes.
Look at my face. It touched my butt.
It touched my butt? Did he say it touched my butt?
And to me, the devil in the keep wears a black uniform.
That devil touched my butt!
Who's this?
My son. He died in Spain.
Oh, Spain is lovely. I've wanted to die in Spain for years. Someday. Here's your chance, Ian. Dance! That's right. Show us those jazz hands. You gotta get out of here. This is no place for my daughter. Go into town and hide out. She goes and gets this apartment.
What are you doing here?
I'm doing window stuff. And this guy is here, this traveler.
I'm gonna wait right here for him.
Then you better stay here with me.
Because I'm not creepy at all. It's a Vermeer painting right there. That's where a Vermeer painting should be hanging. Immediately, they start kissing and getting into the sex. This guy has got game. This was quick.
Why does Tangerine Dream score the love scene like somebody's funeral?
That is known as eagle pose in the Kama Sutra.
I spread my arms and yell caca as loudly as possible.
Yeah, you taste like fingers.
Meanwhile, in the keep. Mein Führer, I can walk!
So the demon comes and talks to Kuza. Hey, do you see that nice thing I did to you about your body?
All Dr. Kuza's got to do is find his talisman and take it out of the keep and into the mountains.
And then I can leave the keep and I can do stuff.
Destroy the soldiers in black and their leaders.
I'll do it if it will defeat the Nazis. Every weather forecast in Romania. Cloudy, 100% chance of mist.
Meanwhile, the people in the town are turning wild and strange. The priest is drinking the blood of a dog. What? That's what he was doing in that shot.
Now it comes out that this traveler, he's come to confront the demon and either kill him or put him back where he belongs.
You will come into the keep for interrogation.
You have been cock and blockened.
Holy
shit! Yoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
All right, the interrogation is cancelled. He's dead. He's not. Kempfer and Vorman have an argument.
Your sentimental suffering makes me sick.
Well, your alliteration afflicts me with ailments.
Kemper shoots Volman after taking one too many insults. I didn't like what he said about my cowardice, so I shot him in the back. Sensitive Nazis.
Jürgen Prock then. Meanwhile, all the soldiers in the keep have been destroyed.
Mangled into their instruments of war, fused into the solid rock.
The demon shows up.
Kempfer tries to fend him off with the cross.
The power of Christ doesn't compel you all that much.
This wasn't even in the script. This was just Ian McKellen looking for his keys.
Kuza finds the talisman.
Carry it from this place. Take it out of here. There's no one left to stop you.
He's going to fulfill his mission and free the demon. He's got that talisman strut.
Pimping ain't easy.
Tangerine Dream in the studio. All right, now let's hear the synths. Good, good. Now bring in the synths. The Traveler is crawling out of the pit where he was gunned down. He goes back to his room. He opens up that case. It's got a thing in it. The demon confronts Kuzo. Come on, man, take the talisman out of the keep. Come on, I need this.
But Ava steps in his way.
No! It's mine. Stop it. Knock it off.
This thing is evil, and it's made you evil.
Kuzo finally realizes that what he's doing is wrong, and that the demon is being kept here for a reason. The Traveler man shows up with his
magic whipping stick. He picks up the talisman. I mean, that's what it is.
He puts the talisman on the end of it.
And he suddenly glows with a radiant, beautiful power. Coming to the Memorial Amphitheater, Laser Floyd. So amazing, it gives him a new shirt that takes off his eyebrows.
The demon is destroyed. Flash! That's what should have been playing at this moment. Tangerine Dream in the studio. It's come to my understanding that someone in this room has a harmonica. Who is it? Let me see it. The Keep. Oh, freeze frame ending, Tony. Very flawed movie, but not without its strengths and not without its charms.
The flaws of the movie, you can't really lay at the feet of the people behind it. It was brutally cut down by Paramount, and a lot of back-end work in post-production they didn't get to do, because at a certain point Paramount just took away control from them. They didn't even get time to properly sound mix the movie.
And the special effects person died in mid-special effecting.
There were over 200 special effects shots that they never got to complete because they didn't have notes. One, we were going to see all those Germans die. There were going to be so many exploding heads.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it.
But I do feel like this story could have been told coherently in 96 minutes. If they had really condensed things and made certain things clearer, but at the same time, you don't get movies like this anymore where they don't explain major things. We have no idea who Scott Glenn is, where he comes from. Is he an alien? Is he a demon? Is he an angel? It doesn't really matter. But if this movie was made today, that would have been explained the hell out of.
Yeah.
Nick Fury would have showed up and explained who he was.
We don't even get to know his name, which is, by the way, Glaken Trismegistus. Trismegistus. And the big bad monster was Radu Molisar. Molisar is a great name for a monster.
Yeah. And a mole. It seems like this movie, the theme of the movie maybe, is that there is evil and then there's always greater evil. We see this in the ranks of the Third Reich. We have Vorman, who's sort of a career military man doing his job. And then we have Kempfer, who's truly a reprehensible human being. And then even worse than that is this demon, who we don't know how bad it's going to get when he gets out of the keep, but he's up to no good. So it's about these gradations of evil.
The infiltration of the keep by a lesser evil makes the greater evil happen. And it's just such a small act that starts everything going. Just one guy trying to steal some silver from a wall just opens up this portal to hell.
Even a good man's judgment is clouded by the idea of wiping out what he believes is the greatest evil, but he's actually leaguing himself with an even worse malevolent force.
I love the design of Molisar.
I
wish it had been shot better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because the movie is so cut to ribbons, it doesn't quite convey, is that he gets more and more solid throughout the movie.
Like the Gnome King in Return to Oz.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And then when he has that extended conversation with Kuza, he's almost growing a physical form. Like you could see his tendons and all that weird stuff.
It's a tough thing to pull off, to give a monster like that a physicality and a face. It looked very cartoony and a little dopey to me.
Some of that mouth articulation is actually pretty decent, but the light sort of overblows it and gives him that Muppet mouth.
What do you look at in this movie and say, that's Michael Mann, besides Tangerine Dream soundtrack?
I think it's the shot composition, the backlighting of the soldiers running into the keep to steal the silver, the boat on the sunset horizon. He's a dude who loves a center point radiating out, and there are a lot of great shots.
I found it very amusing. You were over on the couch giving your summary, and you were talking about...
One especially awful Nazi named Horst.
That wasn't that guy's name. I just made that up.
Oh, I thought it was Horst.
No, I called him Horst. Horst is just a German name that amuses me.
You don't get names like Horst anymore.
No, you don't.
Or Jürgen Prochnow.
I want to mention real quick, I didn't mention this at the top of the show, but this was sent in by a viewer, and it was a homemade pirated version of this movie, which is hard to come by, so we certainly appreciate that.
You've got to admit that piracy and fan interest has what's kept this movie going, because it certainly hasn't been supported by Paramount or by Michael Mann. It got a VHS and a Laserdisc release back in the day. It only just came out on DVD a couple of years ago in Australia.
How did you originally see it?
I originally saw it on VHS, panned and scanned and in terrible quality, but by God, it had something.
The evil of the keep has been recontained, and the world is now safe. And it's time for us to breathe a sigh of relief as we discuss Seen It.
Seen It!
Stefan Hines, Seen It, Kwaidan, a slow-paced, quietly creeping anthology horror that doubles as an interesting insight into Japanese culture and folklore. Seen it, and somebody sent it to us.
I've seen it. My copy's at home.
It's got a pace that draws you in. It's not all that scary, but it's more of a horror of ideas. The horrors of life. What if you made this bad decision that really hurt somebody you loved, and then you realize that you can never fix it or change it? That makes your life sort of a living hell, or it certainly does for this character in the first story. The idea that a woman who's a vampire can bind herself to this mortal through an oath and suddenly live as a human until that oath is broken, and then she's back to being a vampire. I mean, that's a really cool idea. And that story was redone in Tales from the Dark Side.
Yes.
With James Remar and Ray Dawn Chong, which we watched on this show.
It's the movie equivalent of getting sat down to have a story told to you. It requires you to enter the trance-like pace of it.
Yeah.
Alan North says, how about Wes Craven's New Nightmare? The only Nightmare on Elm Street I actually like. Seen it.
Seen it, Nancy.
It is a hard right departure away from what Freddy had become in the myriad of Dream Warriors, Dream Children, all the sequels that New Line had pumped out.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't care for it. I thought the acting was not good, and I didn't realize how old it was. I didn't realize it was from 94. I thought it was from like 2010.
Oh no, it's pre-Scream.
Such an intriguing premise. By writing these scripts, he's trapped the spirit in these movies. I mean, that's really interesting.
One of my favorite moments in that is when realities really start blending. John Saxon, who I love that they brought back for it, Heather Langenkamp realizes that he's calling her Nancy and that the world has shifted so much that he's not him anymore. He's the character of her dad from the movie.
Yeah, I wish they had used Robert Englund as himself more. It's a real missed opportunity to not have Bob Englund menaced by Freddy Krueger in a dream. He being attacked by himself.
That would have been awesome.
Deadpan 80, The Brood, have you seen it? Cronenberg made the film while going through a contentious divorce. He claimed he wanted to remake Kramer vs. Kramer, only more realistic. Yikes! Seen it.
What a marvelous little movie full of psychically manifested hate babies.
Interesting to look at the early work of Cronenberg and how the protagonists of his movies are so unburdened by a personality.
They're very blank slate.
It's almost as if Cronenberg doesn't want that character to get in the way of the story.
Or to get in the way of the audience's reaction, because people watching it have a much more visceral reaction.
Sure.
Piotrek Napiórkowski.
Nice.
The original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. The wedding scene where the father carries his dead daughter through the entire town in one take was such an outstanding scene. It shook me more than the monster itself. Seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it! I love Frankenstein. I haven't seen it in years. I actually wanted to watch it before this discussion, but I didn't get a chance to. But I'm sure I will in the spooky month of October.
I last watched it about a year or two ago, and the thing that stood out to me most is Karloff. All the very tiny things he does. He's a large character who occasionally does large actions, but also does really tiny stuff too. You
have to look at those Universal movies. I don't think there's anything that's been so deeply assimilated into our culture as the shots and images from these movies. And when you look at how scary it is, you have to really look at it in the context of when it came out. That close-up of him when he's waking up and you see that face. Seeing that on a 100-foot tall screen, I mean, I'm sure that everyone in that theater was just screaming in terror. There's a place you can go that doesn't contain ancient evil. It only contains fun, and that's our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. The entire back catalog is there for your perusal and your approval, and there are also PayPal donation buttons that you can click on, and you can make a one-time or rolling monthly donation to support this show. Your support is greatly appreciated. It helps keep this show going, and it's just a wonderful thing to do. And I want to shout out one of our one-time donors, Brooklyn, who made a very generous donation. Thank you. Mwah. If you want to see more Tony and Matt chat, you can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. We open the mail. That's right, you can send us mail at this show. The P.O. Box is on your screen right now. And we're going to answer questions and do all kinds of fun stuff. We hope you'll join us for that. And right now, take a look at this.
Oh, that was Bruce Payne as the second guard? Had no idea.
Gabriel Byrne stars in groundbreaking new TV that's got all the critics talking. In a television first, he plays a psychiatrist who gets into the mind of his patients. Each night of the first week, we have an appointment with a different patient.
This
who will
was
be
recorded
told
off of British
full-time
television, I
next
think.
to see how their situations develop.
It touched my blood.